Blake Lively essentially threatened, you could say, Justin Baldoni.
We just broke a shocking story.
I'm blaming the New York Times for participating with Blake Lively's publicists.
And she scraped all posts, mentions, photos of Blake Lively. The whole thing's gone.
Blake Lively, Hollywood sweetheart, is suddenly on the run. But why? The actress, who's always been the epitome of elegance with her flawless red carpet appearances and seemingly perfect marriage, is now dodging the paparazzi for an entirely different reason. Insiders close to Lively reveal she's in a frantic rush to flee the country before an upcoming court date. What could be so explosive that it has one of Tinseltown's biggest stars willing to risk everything? Stay with us, because we've uncovered some jaw-dropping details about this unfolding scandal. Lively has vanished without a trace, and Hollywood is in full-blown panic mode. The Gossip Girl alum, known for serving breathtaking fashion moments and curating a picture-perfect Instagram aesthetic, has suddenly gone off the grid. What on earth could force an A-lister like her to pull a disappearing act? Just days ago, she was glowing on the red carpet at an ultra-exclusive charity gala, smiling, posing, and mingling like nothing was wrong. Fast forward to now and poof, she's gone. No one's seen or heard from her, and the rumor mill is on fire. But here's where things get really interesting. Blake's longtime stylist, who's been crafting her signature looks for years, accidentally spilled some major tea. The actress has abruptly canceled every single upcoming appearance. No explanations. No postponements. Just a hard no to everything on her schedule. What's got Blake making such a dramatic exit? But wait, there's more. Eyewitnesses at LAX swear they spotted Blake Lively trying to slip away unnoticed. One source claims she was doing her best to blend in, rocking oversized sunglasses and a baseball cap pulled so low it nearly covered her face. But despite the disguise, she couldn't hide the tension in her body language. She looked nervous, like she kept checking over her shoulder, the source revealed. But here's the burning question. Where was she headed and why the desperate need for secrecy? Now, this is where things get even messier. A close friend of Blake's has spilled some serious tea. Apparently, the actress has been making non-stop, frantic phone calls to her legal team at all hours of the night. She's scared, the friend confessed. I've never seen her like this before. What's got Blake so shaken that she's lawyering up in a panic? And if that wasn't suspicious enough, her usually buzzing social media accounts have gone completely dark. No heartwarming snaps of her kids with Ryan Reynolds, no sneak peeks of glamorous projects, nothing! It's like she's been wiped off the internet overnight. Meanwhile, Blake's PR team is in full-blown damage control. They're dodging questions left and right, throwing out vague excuses about personal time and family matters. But come on, we all know they're hiding something. The real question is, what? What are they so desperate to keep under wraps? Buckle up, because this is where things take a turn for the seriously scandalous. A court summons with Blake Lively's name on it has just surfaced, and let's be clear, this isn't about some minor parking violation. The details are still tightly sealed, but insiders say it's big. Career-ending big. And if that wasn't shocking enough to send Hollywood into a tailspin, here comes the real bombshell. Blake Lively is reportedly trying to flee the country before her court date. That's right, our golden girl, the Hollywood darling, is on the run from the law. But what could possibly be so catastrophic that she'd be willing to risk everything just to escape facing the truth? The deeper we dig, the murkier this mystery becomes. What secrets is Blake hiding behind that dazzling, picture-perfect smile? Could there be trouble in paradise with Ryan Reynolds? Or is this something even bigger, something so shocking it could rock Hollywood to its very core? One thing is crystal clear. Blake Lively's seemingly perfect life is looking more and more like a carefully constructed illusion. And as the cracks in that flawless image begin to show, one question lingers. How well do we really know the stars we idolize? Get ready, because the legal firestorm swirling around Blake Lively is about to explode. And it's not going to be pretty. Remember those sealed court documents we mentioned? Well, they've just been unsealed, and what's inside is even more shocking than anyone could have imagined. The lawsuit names Blake Lively as a defendant, but here's the twist. Who's the plaintiff? It's not a bitter ex or a feuding co-star. No, the ones coming after her are the very people who once kept her luxurious life running smoothly. Her former household staff. That's right. People who worked tirelessly behind the scenes are now turning against her. And the accusations? They're wild. We're talking serious labor law violations, verbal abuse, and get this, claims of hidden spy cameras watching their every move. This isn't some over-the-top Hollywood thriller. This is real life. According to the lawsuit, Blake ruled her household like an absolute dictator, making outrageous demands at all hours of the day and night. One former nanny even claimed she was forced to taste test Blake's food to ensure it was fresh. Seriously? That's next-level diva behavior. But wait, it gets even crazier. Another ex-employee alleges that Blake would call them at 3 a.m., yes, in the middle of the night, demanding they rush over to rearrange her closet because she couldn't sleep. Can you believe that? It's like Blake Lively was living in her own private Gossip Girl episode. But this time, she's not the beloved protagonist. She's the villain. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more outrageous, here's where things take a seriously dark turn. Insiders are buzzing about claims that Blake withheld pay from her staff and even threatened to blacklist anyone who dared to speak out. One former assistant alleges Blake personally warned her, "If you breathe a word of this to anyone, I'll make sure you never work in this town again." That's the kind of line you'd expect from a movie mob boss. Not America's sweetheart, but the real bombshell? There's actual recorded evidence that allegedly catches Blake in the act. In one leaked audio clip, she's supposedly heard ripping into a staff member over, wait for it, buying the wrong brand of organic kale. And if that wasn't shocking enough, she allegedly screams, "Do you think Ryan Reynolds married me so I could eat peasant food?" True, this is worlds away from the wholesome, down-to-earth image Blake has carefully crafted over the years. But brace yourself, because the lawsuit doesn't stop there. It also alleges that Blake went as far as installing hidden cameras throughout her home, not just in common areas, but in bathrooms and changing rooms to spy on her staff. This is real. Blake's reputation might be beyond repair. True, this isn't just a shocking invasion of privacy, it could be criminal. Court documents lay out a disturbing picture of a toxic workplace where employees allegedly lived in constant fear of Blake's wrath. One former housekeeper claims she was fired on the spot for taking a 15-minute break, after working 14 hours straight. Another staff member says Blake forced her to work while sick, allegedly telling her, "Your germs can't afford my lawyers." Yikes. With allegations like these, it's no wonder Blake is supposedly trying to skip town. We're talking labor violations, a hostile work environment, potentially illegal surveillance. The list just keeps growing. And if even half of these accusations turn out to be true, Blake could be facing serious legal consequences. But here's the real kicker. This lawsuit isn't just about money. The former employees are demanding a public apology and for Blake to undergo extensive sensitivity training. They're not just looking for justice. They want to change the way Hollywood treats its behind-the-scenes workers, and they're making an example out of one of its biggest stars. So, what's Blake doing about all this? Well, she's not just laying low. She's allegedly plotting a full-blown Houdini act. This scandal is far from over, and trust us, the drama is just getting started. Our sources say America's sweetheart might be on her way to becoming America's most wanted. But the real question is, where is she headed? Buckle up, because this escape plan sounds like something straight out of a high-stakes action movie. Remember when Blake was just a small-town girl with big dreams? Well, now she's a big-time star drowning in a world of trouble, and she's not about to sit around waiting for a judge to drop the gavel. Nope, Blake has her sights set on greener pastures, and by greener we mean a place that won't send her back to face the music. And here's the real shocker. You won't believe who she's been reaching out to lately. We're talking international contacts and not the let's do brunch in Paris kind. These are the help me disappear forever kind of connections. It's like she's starring in her own spy thriller, and the stakes? They couldn't be higher. But wait, this is where it gets really juicy. Our eagle-eyed sources spotted Blake at the Canadian embassy. Could she be plotting a run for the border? Maybe she's hoping the Mounties will give her a safe haven. But let's be real, that signature golden hair would stand out even in a field of wheat. Is Blake Lively about to pull off the Hollywood escape of the century? Stay tuned, this story is only getting crazier. Canada might be an easy escape, but it's still way too close to home for comfort. Nope, Blake's thinking bigger. Way bigger. Our sources say she's been Googling countries with no extradition treaties faster than you can say Gossip Girl. Looks like someone's been binge-watching crime documentaries and taking notes. But wait, it gets even crazier. A little birdie just dropped some serious intel. A private jet was fueled up and ready to go at a tiny airport just outside of LA. Now, we're not saying it was definitely for Blake, but come on, how many other stars are out here pulling a full-on vanishing act right now? And here's the real kicker, Blake's passport? Gone. Poof. Missing from her last known hideout. So, the real question is, has she already made a break for it? Is Blake Lively sipping Mai Tais on some far-flung beach while we're all here scrambling for answers? Speaking of missing in action, where's hubby Ryan Reynolds in all of this? Suspiciously silent. Is he in on the grand escape plan? Or is he back home scratching his head, wondering why Blake's suitcases and favorite wigs have mysteriously vanished? Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. But just when you think this story couldn't get any wilder, guess what? The plot thickens even more. An anonymous tipster, and don't we just love those, just dropped a bombshell. The word on the street is that Blake has her eye on a remote island, one with 0 US ties, no paparazzi, and no extradition worries. We're talking so off the grid that it makes Gilligan's Island look like Times Square on New Year's Eve. So what's the endgame here? Well, our sources say Blake is desperate to disappear to a place where you can't sit with us applies to US Marshals too. It's like she's in the middle of a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek, and guess what? The entire world is IT. With her court date looming, the million-dollar question is, will Blake really walk away from everything? Her career, her family, her collection of designer headbands. Is she actually willing to leave it all behind? Could she really trade in red carpets for remote beaches and paparazzi flashes for passport stamps? As the curtain falls on Blake Lively's picture-perfect Hollywood life, one thing is certain, we're left with more questions than answers. The shocking allegations from Blake Lively's former staff have shattered her once flawless image, leaving everyone wondering, what's really going on behind those perfectly curated Instagram posts? But here's the real kicker. While Blake is desperately trying to flee the country, her entire empire is crumbling faster than she can pack her designer suitcases. Will she actually face the music and show up in court? Or will she vanish into thin air like a magic trick gone terribly wrong? One thing's for sure, this scandal is far from over. Blake's next move could change everything. Will she somehow pull off a miracle and save her reputation? Or is this the final act for one of Hollywood's golden girls? Stay tuned, because in Tinseltown the show always goes on, even when the leading lady tries to run away.